Welcome to our monthly CRA meeting. First of all, welcome all the VIPs. You're all VIPs, right? Okay. But even VIPs must turn off electronic devices, so please do so at this time. And I'm going to call on Dr. LaRose. If you would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, we sure would appreciate it.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and we don't sign in at the CRA meetings because we don't have enough sign-in. So just have it noted in the minutes that all 7 CRA members are present, as well as our CRA attorney, and many of our esteemed city department heads sitting over there monitoring us and making sure we don't get in trouble. Full-time job, right? Yeah, I thought so. So what I'd like to do is move on to item number 3, the approval of CRA minutes. If I could get action by the council, please, by the commissioners, rather.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting.
Okay, got a motion? Do I have a second? Motion second to accept the minutes of the last meeting. Any discussion? Mr. Blocker?
No.
I thought you wanted to correct you being in attendance.
I want to ask, who is it that documents and prints our program out?
The Princeton?
Yeah, this program we have.
I did.
I was here last meeting. I think Dr. LaRosa's one was out. So I'd like to get it corrected.
I don't write it, I just print the packet out.
Yeah.
I didn't do the minutes. Minutes are done.
He's just noting correction to the minutes. He's being shown there as being absent, and he was present. Just make that correction.
Okay.
January 8th shows Ms. Blocker in attendance.
Right.
It shows,
But if you look at the
Look at your sheet though.
if you go to page 1, January 8th, it says Joe Blocker absent.
I'm a little fella, I know.
The absent is the third column. That's not a cross absent, it's down absent. The absents are listed underneath it. If you look at the third column, you have visitors, attorney, and absent. Absent will be listed underneath that, the absent word.
No.
Yeah. Whatever. Correct it.
You were here, you were over there.
It looked as though he's absent, but he really wasn't.
He really
Okay,
wasn't.
so
That's right.
So we have a motion second to accept the minutes. Any further discussion? Please signify support by saying aye. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? At this time, I'm calling anybody in the audience who would like to address the CRA on anything that's on the agenda for this evening. Anybody in the audience like to address the CRA and any agenda items? Okay, we're going to move on to item 5, old business, and we'll start with the CRA master plan status by our CRA director.
Not much has changed with the master plan status. We did have a public hearing meeting that had to be postponed because of the weather, and now we're going to have a public hearing meeting tomorrow with the county. And that's really all there is. We're going to be meeting tomorrow regarding the CRA master plan and try to come to a conclusion of where to move forward.
Would you identify time and place for the public?
I'm sorry, it's going to be at Warriors Hall at 2 o'clock.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Will you talk about light post now?
Yeah, we can talk about light
Thank
posts. Okay. As y'all know, I asked y'all about we were going to, y'all approved us to get the light post repainted because Sherwin-Williams is donating the paint. I talked with the contractor. It was referred to me by Chuck Powell with the city. And it's the contractor that's normally used through the city to paint the light post. And he said that as soon as the weather gets a steady area, I don't know how to say it, but I mean, it's more steady.
Above 50 degrees.
Yeah, thank you. That word, I was trying to get not fluctuate so much. There we go. Thank you. Appreciate it. Then he's going to come out and give me a quote on what else is going to be required. But it should just be the labor that we're going to be paying for. It's 10 gallons of paint that are being donated by Sherwin-Williams should be plenty to do all the post. So I just want to let y'all know the status on that one.
Hang on just a minute, Mr. Steele. Is your esteemed opinion that temperature could be right? Did that point before the triple B? Not committing, are you?
I don't know.
Triple B's not
All
downtown
right,
anyway.
it doesn't matter anyway.
Well,
Triple B's no longer a Main Street.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted y'all to know it is still going forward. We just need to wait on the weather
All right,
to
thank you.
become more stabilized.
Now, new business, 6A.
Okay, you didn't want me, you're looking at the old agenda, we have the new
Question.
agenda.
We're still on.
We're still on one.
You don't have the revised agenda?
I don't have a C on mine.
5C.
I do.
Got the old page.
Yeah, wait a minute, I'll set it on my mental.
Same page. President.
Oh, I got it here someplace. All right, thank you though.
In consolation at the last
5C,
meeting.
we're on the gateway entrance signage,
Yeah.
engineering contract.
On the engineering contract I presented to y'all before, we were looking at, their limit was 28,000 to do the engineering designs for the gateway entrances. Since then, with the assistant of Wayne, he kind of gave me an idea, and we're trying to get that price lowered. I'm having difficulty finding construction engineers, architectural type engineers, and per Wayne, we do need to have an engineer design these signs instead of just going, because I was like, well, maybe we can just go with a contractor that knows how to make them, and it was like, no, these have to be designed properly. So have made a phone call to try to talk to the engineering company that we had worked with before, Poly Engineering, to discuss the terms and try to renegotiate that price down to $25,000, where they work it from beginning to end, instead of just $28,000 with certain little items. So trying to negotiate that down, meanwhile trying to find other contract engineers that could do design for us, but looks like I'd have to go to Tallahassee or out to Pensacola. I'm still going to try to find somebody to get some competition, but I wanted y'all to know that I am currently trying to renegotiate that contract with them and bring that price down. And because we've got to move forward on these gateway entrance signs, and sooner we can get that done, then we can start moving forward with the actual design work. And
Any comments or questions?
Question, Mr. President.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Stage.
For the engineering, are we working through one engineer? One engineer, or have we looked at multiple?
yeah, there's the one engineer I'm working with, and I've talked to Wayne and several people. There's several engineers around here, but they can't do the construction engineering. And then the other one works with the city. He wouldn't take our contract. He's too busy, and he referred me to some other people whom I've called, and they won't do it. So if I would needed a civil engineer, they're a dime a dozen, and they're everywhere. But a construction engineer is very more specialized, and I've been having difficulty finding more construction engineers. If y'all have some, please refer them to me, and so we can call and try to get some more construction engineers. I was trying to use some to facilitate the process and get it moving forward. I was trying to find some that already have a contract with the city, and so we can just go ahead and move forward with them. If not, I can do an RFQ and try to research them and get some more in here. But I went with an engineering company that we already do business with.
Okay, one that we already contracted with.
It's already contracted with
Okay.
city, yes, sir.
Any other comments, questions? Go ahead.
I would just like to find out where we are. I've got to have 4 agendas for this meeting.
The last agenda was sent. You had a 5.
I don't have a timestamp on my agendas. I don't know
Okay, well,
which
I'm
the
sorry.
last one
I
was.
sent it. The last one I sent via email, and I put them in y'all's box. I put the new one in y'all's box also. The
Okay.
one that's got 5 has A, B, C, and D. That's the right agenda. I put the new one in y'all's box. The packet had already been put in y'all's box, but if you've got an agenda that
Okay,
says
well, all
old
of this-
business A, B, C, and D.
All of this came out of the box on my door, except for this notebook, and it was leaning against the door.
Do you have an agenda that says A, B, C, and D on
Well,
on
yes, I
5?
do, but what's behind those A, B, C, and Ds? You're talking about if we're on 6A,
No, we're on 5. We're on 5C.
okay, gateway entrance signage is what
Yes,
I
sir.
have.
Mhm.
And that's what we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
I'm just making sure I'm on the right one.
And that's fine. Yep.
Okay, I got it, thank you.
And so that's where we stand on that one. I do want to move forward as quickly as possible, because that's something I think needs to be jumped on pretty soon, and hopefully soon I'll have y'all a contract, several contracts, or just say this is the best we got.
Yeah, and I would just like to add this, and that is that we hired someone to come up with a plan. We accepted the plan. We had the money for the plan, so we just need to get going on the plan.
Yes.
And find someone, and I know you're working on it, but
Yes,
as
sir.
quickly as possible. While I'm had the floor, though, let me welcome Commissioner Boyles. He snuck in on me, and welcome. Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
The dog park? Okay.
Yes.
On the dog park, we have just recently received the engineering schematic that we've been waiting on for quite a while. And Teresa's got everything for y'all. And I have written the check. We allocated $10,000 to pay for that. Fortunately, it cost us $9,300. So we have $700 left over, which I would like to allocate for the sign. When we start breaking ground, I'd like to put a sign out there. I don't want to put it there till we break ground, that says coming soon, this spring, this summer, the dog park. Because, you know, so many people are like, when is that going to happen? When is that going to happen? Well, I'd like to put the sign up when we're breaking ground. Don't want to put it up there beforehand, but I like to, as soon as we, so I'd like to allocate the other $700 that was left over to pay for the sign, to put up there saying coming soon when we get to that point. I wanted y'all to know that it did not cost us the full $10,000. It just cost us $9,300 for what you have in your hand now.
What I would like to know, Lisa, and that is a little more details. And this is partially CRA funded, but it's not a CRA project. And it's hard for me to get arms around this, where we're in and we're out. And,
Yeah.
and I want to know when we're going to break ground.
You and me
Can
both.
anybody tell me?
I don't know.
Mr.
Teresa might
President.
be more inclined to tell you on that one.
Mr. President,
It's gonna say Wayne would.
Yes, Mr. Steele.
the city engineer, working with the architect, finished the project and plans last week. We are currently putting together the cost estimate. As of today, the materials, the cost estimate that was provided to me was $198,000 for the materials. Now, keep in mind, some of that will be donated. That doesn't include any labor. There will be some of that the city can provide for as in-house, in-kind services, but that's what we have today, just of this afternoon. Now, when we go, the next step we take, it'll be on the next TRC. And as Teresa and I spoke last week, this is a small project. It may not come before through the normal process, but it will come before the city council for approval before we ever start bidding the project out or moving forward with anything, because the funding has to be identified. The CRA has had, I guess, some funding dedicated to it, not sure, but I know there's some donated monies that April Meyer has that was put forth for it. But we yet to determine where the rest of the funding's coming from, or how we'll purchase those materials.
Well, thank you, Mr. Steele, but I don't think anybody anticipated $200,000. We're building a doggy hotel, or?
Well,
I mean, this is, we had 62, we got $72,000 dedicated to it, and then, I don't know, it just seems to me, I need to see more information.
And
Building $200,000.
And I will provide you the complete set of plans for everyone to review, and you can see the breakout. I was concerned from this from the very beginning. I've expressed my concerns that you can't just, you have to follow a process to build anything in the city. We have to follow the same thing we require any developer or any development to build, and there was things and amenities that they put in there that are driving the cost up, and we just have to look at those and decide how and what can be added and what can be deleted, what they're what everybody's willing to accept and feel warm and fuzzy about, so that we can afford to do it.
Yeah, we need to sit down and do that then, because we need to get this thing going.
Right.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, on to new business. Y'all have in your contract a intent, an intent for business, letter of intent. I'm sorry, I'll get there from Flying Coffin LLC. Now, I will say this letter is their dream. Okay, they are quite aware that this is not what we're going to agree to, But what we need to do is sit down and meet with them, and I would like for y'all to read over this, get me your questions. I've already talked to a couple that have questions regarding this, and then let us sit down and discuss it with them and come up with an agreement that we can all go with on this letter of intent. I told them that this is not going to go the way they've got it written, and we know that, and that's what they said. They're asking for what they would like their utopia world to be, but they're quite aware that this is not going to go as flies. But we do need to schedule a meeting for us to do a special workshop and discuss it with them and come up with a more optional plan on this. So I didn't know if y'all wanted to schedule that tonight, or if we can get with y'all during the week, and let's see what we can schedule a special workshop with them.
Mr. Cox, you look like you have a question. Go ahead.
Excuse me, yes. Couple things. One, how soon do you need our input from this first piece of information?
I need that as soon as possible. When I spoke with them, they were actually in the process of building this outside of the city. And they would prefer to be in the city. They've wanted to be downtown, and we've been talking almost every single day to move this forward, and they really do want downtown. It would be great for downtown. It would be a good anchor at one end. But they already have somebody saying, I'll build a suit, whatever you want, but it's out of town. And they're waiting on us, because they really would prefer to be here, but they're going to build somewhere. And so as soon as we can get together with them, we need to do that, and so we can move forward and see if this is an option where we can move forward with them on this project.
Go ahead, you still
Yes, as much as I would be for this to come to fruition, this first throw out from them is there's only maybe 1 point out of a dozen that's realistic.
Every bit of this is going to have to be negotiated, yes, sir.
They'll have to get real. I'm prepared, when you say as soon as possible, can you give us a time certain of how many days you want to have?
I would prefer within the week, if y'all can. That's where y'all need to look at your schedule,
okay,
and prefer within the week as soon as possible. They're going to call me tomorrow.
We're going to do a workshop. We have to do a public hearing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It would have to be a public workshop, of course. But as soon as
our board member concerns and inputs with this first
if y'all could
draft,
if y'all could get
yes,
sir. If y'all could get me y'all's concerns, what's today? If y'all can get me y'all's concerns by the end of the week, then what I would like to do is share it with them, and then so they can be prepared. I've already told them we're going to want proof that you know how to run a business, which they do. They've got 2 successful businesses in Fort Walton, and so I've told them we're going to need P&Ls. We're going to need proof that y'all can make this a success just as much as we're going to fight for it, which they are, and they want to know what else y'all want and what y'all's concerns are going to be. And so when we do get to the public meeting, we should have most of it resolved and go on that one. But if y'all could get me y'all stuff by the end of the week, that'd be great.
Everybody got that? You have any inputs? At least by the end of the week. Go ahead, Councilman Hayes. Commissioner Hayes.
Yeah, yes, Mr. President. There are so many questions on this, so many unknowns. First, and the agreement I would never agree to, like we're paying for half of a bill, 120. It's so many questions that right now I could not even buy off on this whatsoever. In my opinion, you should have brought more detailed information to us to look at. This is just a pie in the sky thrown out lease or agreement that with no specifics on there except what they want. Basically, and I'm not going to vote for what they want.
We know that. I mean, I know that.
But I'm saying what you presented to us, you really, in my opinion, you could have kept it until you got more detail on that. Because there's 100 questions I have right now about it whatsoever. Just starting off. I don't see where, except other than a building being put down here. It doesn't specify the building. Is the city-owned building? Is it private-owned building? The implication here is that it's a building that we would help purchase. That's the implication there. But there's so much unknown in here that there should have been more in here even before we got to a workshop discussion. And so I can't sit down and write all the questions that I have pertaining to this because I don't know enough about it. And, Mr. President, I just don't care for this presentation of this lease right
Trying
here.
to get that impression.
Well, but I've tried to meet, in all honesty, I've met with everybody on the board this week, and I've tried to meet with some members, and that's why I wanted private meetings with y'all. And I've actually had private meetings with almost everybody, and I know you've been really busy, and we haven't been able to meet. And in that private meeting, we did discuss more details. And that's why you're not informed on this, and I understand that. And I would love to sit down with you tomorrow or as soon as possible and go over the details on this. Because, yes, you're right, there is a whole lot more to this, but we've got to work our plan more and work together, and I would love to sit down with you privately and go over the rest of the information and the details on this. And anytime you get a packet and you have questions, please give me a call and we'll discuss it prior to.
Well, no reflection, we kept missing each other. I came over twice, but you weren't in the office both times.
Yes, sir.
I had a whole lot of questions.
And give me a call anytime you have questions. Give me a call. And like I said, yes, we have missed each other. Both of us have missed each other, and I understand you. Yes, not knowing if I looked at this and was in your situation, yeah, I would have a whole bunch of questions also. And I understand that 100%. And I would love to meet with you and go over in detail the rest of it. It's just a whole lot more involved. But the purpose of this intent was to let y'all know that they're serious and they really do want this. And they want us to try to start working together. And I will gladly meet with you. If you'll check with me tomorrow, we'll get our schedules together again. And we did. We had, I think, 2 meetings scheduled, and things had to come up.
I have one other question, but then I'm going to be quiet. Has our attorney glanced at this?
Just briefly, sir. I've had about as much time as you have looking at it. And I would also put forth that we would end up having to send it out for an RFP generally after we have a plan and something in mind to at least look at other proposals that, in other words, give other people a shot at it, just to see what else might be proposed for that property.
Yeah, I'm just suggesting that that she sits down with the attorney and they look at it and go over it to start with.
Before I call you, Mr. Gutney, let's keep something in mind, guys, okay? Let's not shoot our director. We hired her to bring us suggestions and plans, and then we'll work through them. Having a workshop will get a lot of the details out that you're asking for. But I know you're not happy with what you're seeing right now, but if we can give input and we can get more details. I'm not saying I'm for or against it. I'm just saying that she's trying to bring a proposal to us for an investment, which we're supposed to be doing, redeveloping downtown. That's going to cost money, and so we need to sit down and talk about it. That's all I'm saying, is that let's work together as a group.
And Mr. President, just for a record, I'm not trying to be against her. It's just that when you look at this only, you look at that and automatically all these things start jumping out at you. You know, if you're looking at it from a business perspective, and it was so many questions that were unanswered. And I understand she said she talked with some of you, but there's a whole board here, and I don't know if she talked with everybody, but except me, I'm not questioning that part of it. But only thing I'm saying is, from what I've seen, and we can only go by what's presented to us until we get more answers. I'm up for a workshop, definitely.
Okay. Ms. Gardner, you had an input, a question?
Yeah, I support you, okay?
Yes, sir.
But, like I told you then.
Mr. Gardner, would you use the mic, please? Thank you.
Like I told you then, I wanted it appraised. Yeah, I wanted an engineer to check it out.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, what? I'm sorry. What were you talking about? Appraised and engineering checking out. Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking about the building that we're considering. Yeah, that we're not at that point yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we are, but we're not at that point yet. This is that's just a possibility of several options, and we're not at that point yet. And yes,
Okay.
when we do get to that point, you're right. We will get an appraiser and get a definite amount on that. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Dr. LaRose, you had a comment and a question.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. President. What are the expectations of the CRA when we want to establish a relationship like that with someone who wants to come to start a project? Are there general expectations that the institution or the project that's coming, what do they expect from the CRA, and what are the expectations of the CRA toward them?
And when I met with them, and like I said, they're going to have to put a lot of money in, because they have to actually build a restaurant in the building that we're considering. And we have matching funds in our grant money to help with any kind of construction work. So we've got allocated matching funds to help with this project. And that's where, we would have to take it when we establish our new grant review board and try to get that. There's several processes involved in this. And then we've got the grant matching funds for this. They do want to work with us, because they want the CRA invested and the city invested in them just as much. This is a major business that would bring a whole lot downtown. And so it's going to be a give and give. And I want it to work out, and we all want it to work out to where it's a win-win for everybody, because not only is it going to bring a lot of people downtown, but it will increase revenue dollars, and it will increase property value with their business that they're wanting to do. And so and the reason I kind of have to be a little, the building we're looking at, there's some of this really, it has to be until we can't divulge some stuff, because we need to get more ducks together before we know exactly, because on the issues. So.
You still have the floor, ma'am.
Yes. So the matching funds, there's no number associated with that yet. So what do you think it's going to cost for them to come here that you're going to match?
The estimated, and this is what they've estimated based on building a restaurant inside. This facility we're looking at has no restaurant, but it's a great location for them and exactly what they would like to have. And it's so they've estimated, because they've already done this before, how much it would cost to build this commercial restaurant and to set everything up and the TVs and everything that they've got to go. They're estimating around $125,000 shared between the two of us at the top, the most. This is going to be a large investment of our money. But my gut feeling is it will definitely be worth it, because it's going to put an anchor at one end of town that doesn't really have an anchor, and like over here, and then you've got the courthouse, and then everything's going to start filling in, and that's what we need. We need a good, strong business anchor, more of those in town, that will encourage other people to build downtown and invest in some of the buildings and go from there. So, yes, this looks like all good for them and not good for us, but there is more to this story. There is more in here. That's why I wanted to let y'all see it and know we've got to have a workshop. This isn't something we can just, I need to get y'all's questions, and I wanted y'all to see it as is. I wanted y'all to see what they presented, because they know this isn't going to go, but we want to know what y'all's thoughts are, so we can change it and make it work for everybody. Does that answer?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you, Lisa.
Okay. Okay, and moving on, we've got, just letting y'all know, I'm going to be gone March 15th through the 17th for FRA conference. But after that, my FRA Academy classes, I need y'all to approve that expenditure for that trip. This is my third class. I'll have 2 more after this to be certified. And I need y'all to approve my trip to the Academy and the expenditures for that. And I've got, if y'all will look on your page, well, no, the other page is something else. It's a conference. But the Academy is just my second, my class on budgeting that I will be taking, budgeting and reporting. And I need y'all to approve my expenditures for taking the Academy class. I know y'all have already approved me going to school. I don't know if y'all need to approve every expenditure when I go. That's what I need to know about that.
We tied that to hiring you. You're going to these classes, so we authorize that. I don't think we have to authorize every single expenditure for you to fulfill the requirement that we placed on you.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to make sure.
I don't think so.
Okay, all right. On the next one is, I will be in Orlando for the Academy classes through the 17th. On the 18th, League, Florida League of Cities is throwing a conference with the FRA, and it's the National Interagency Communication Reinvestment Conference. And if y'all will see on your sheet, there's CRA evaluations, examinations, and several classes. A lot of these, I wanted y'all to see the classes that I plan on taking at this conference that would benefit us. A lot of it is financing and growing and developing and other ideas, but a lot of it's going to be, how to get financing also. I've got the cost of the conference on there. Now, this is the 18th or the 21st to Miami. So I will be in Orlando, but then I'll go down to Miami after that for this conference. And I've got estimated prices down there. I may have to fly back. I don't know. I'm working on just driving down and driving back. I would like to come back on the 21st and stay at a city midway that's doing it right and meet with the CRA director. There's several that I can meet with and get some ideas from them and kind of cut my trip on the way and back, coming back, so I won't have to take a plane and fly. So those are the expenditures for that meeting, or that conference. See if y'all would approve that for me to go. They are, if you'll notice, budgeted line item allocations down there are the conference and hotel charges. That would be in the conference conventions meeting budgeted item, which there is money in there. And if I have to get an airplane ticket and car bill and all that, there's plenty of money for travel allocated for this trip. I do need y'all to approve me going to this conference.
Yeah, that's true. Comments, questions, gentlemen, lady? Mr. Hayes?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. When I was looking into this, I went online and did the research on this because I said CRA and then CRA. Well, CRA is not the same CRA as what we're making reference to. This is a community reinvestment meeting, and it's geared towards urban development, large cities. I think the largest one probably close by here is Montgomery downtown. I'm not sure. I know in the Orlando area and some other cities. And what I was trying to do was see what was what would we gain from this. And I looked through the agenda and everything like that, and I did a little bit more research on this. And only thing I questioned, what I would need is justification why we would have to do, because it's dealing with the Federal Reserve banks. Mm-hmm. And they're dealing with large cities. They're not dealing with cities like, I couldn't find a city our size anywhere on there. There are mainly urban inner cities is what the purpose of this, and it's investment through banks. It's out of this one right here particularly is sponsored out of Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
Nothing to do with us right here, and then they got some in Chicago, San Francisco, offices there, and it's dealing with comptrollers of currency and things like that, and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. So that's what I was trying to figure out, what will we benefit from this right here? And so that's my question to you, based on the research I've done on this.
And I understand it is based on large cities, but large cities have little increments that they're doing it right. And one of the things that I'm wanting to build up here in town is art and culture. Center, festival, we're going to work on that. They've got ideas that I can build from. Just because a city's doing it, it's for big cities, it can be adjusted for small cities. And there was a lot of things I looked in here that I thought I could get some really good ideas from. And make it and adjust it for us. And that's why I brought it. That's why instead of just asking y'all to go to the conference, I really wanted to list the classes that I looked at and I read about that I thought I could get some information from that could give me some ideas and figure out how to get financing for everything and get, there's adjustment. You get big things and make them pull something little out of it and make it work here. It's just more education and information that I thought I could benefit from. If you don't think so, then that's for y'all to decide. No, it was sent to me, and I thought I would be interested, and I'll forward it over to y'all.
Yes, go ahead,
Mr. President. I'm all for training. Every type of training there is. If I think it's beneficial to the city, I try to make it. But when I was looking at this right here, I was trying to see the benefits of of that. That's why I was asking, bringing the question to you. I didn't get a chance to talk with you
Yeah.
the couple of times I came by. But that was my question. What is the CRA here in Crestwood going to benefit from this? And it was hard for me personally, to see where those benefits were, since this is something dealing on a much larger scale for much larger cities and for, like I say, urban developments. And the urban they're talking about are major cities, that
Yes, sir.
that they've like I said, it's a reinvestment, community reinvestment agency is where it's developed from. Matter of fact, there was an act that was passed along this line right here, a Community Reinvestment Act, which goes with this, which directed the banks and stuff to work with the cities concerning this right here. But as I was, doing the research that I looked at, it's not related to smaller cities, and that was my question for the justification of it.
And one of them right there, it says CRA policy trends and analysis. You always want to see things start in a big city and then they grow and expand to the smaller cities. And yes, if we can see what's going on in the big cities and see what's happening, we can get a jump on other towns and things and develop it for us. Like trends, we need to know what the trends are, what's happening in the big cities. And sometimes what happens in the big city, this can be happening in this city, and because this is developing, well, the people that are there or the actions that are there or the businesses are there, they want a smaller area. They don't want that. And we can see what's happening, what the trends are happening, and where they're going with that. The opportunities, art and cultures, program management, there was just so much I saw that I looked at and I thought I would like to work on. And even with the support of health, jobs, and infrastructure, we have health issues, and we have a hospital here, and we have infrastructure here. We may not be Atlanta, but we still have these issues. And we still have these issues downtown and through the CRA. So it's just, when I looked at it, I was interested. And I thought it would be information I'd like to know. If y'all want to research it more, but like I said, it's getting to a point where I've got to make the reservations or I'm going to lose the spot. So the money was allocated. It's something I thought I wanted to go do, but that's for y'all to decide whether I should do it or not.
I'd like to take any more comments or questions before we take any action. Action by the council, please, on this one issue.
Do what?
Action by the commissioners, if you make a motion to...
Yes, I'll make a motion to give her the expense money to go and back.
There's a motion to approve that trip. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion second. Any further discussion?
Mr. President.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Bunker.
Alicia, you have consolidated this all into as lower one group, 1 day, one traffic fare as possible?
I'm sorry. One traffic? What I don't understand. I'm sorry.
Why can't you just make it all flights? Forget about the car rental and all this stuff like that. And I look at this here hotel, $239 a night.
That's what they're charging.
I know the cost will be same.
Yeah.
But I know your heart is the interest of the city's finances. And I want to do the best for you, and you're learning, and we're going to learn with you.
Well, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with driving, and I won't be driving by myself. I can take somebody with me.
That's my next question.
Yeah. And it's like I said, yes, and I looked into flying into, Teresa suggested that I fly into Orlando and then fly from Orlando to Miami and then fly back. And I was looking at all the flights and then comparing the prices, and it's like, I can drive, and then on the way back I can stop at another city that's very big, that has a great CRA, that's doing things, and I like seeing what are going on in other cities. And I wanted to, when I went down to Daytona Beach, I wanted to go to another city on the way back, and I didn't, and I wish I had now. But I was making that trip in 1 day. So I can drive back from Miami, stop at one of the towns that's, and I forgot which one. There was one that was really Port Richey or something like that. Was really good, and there's a lot of them that are really doing it right. And I'd like to go around and visit those cities. So I can spend a day there and drive back. So, and it doesn't matter to me one way or the other whether I do flight or drive, but I'm okay with both. So.
Well, I'm sure we want to furnish you what you need.
And I appreciate that. I really do.
My goal is.
Thank you, sir.
That's all.
No, any other discussion?
Mr. President,
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Dennis.
you know, I would supporting everything. I think that our board, really needs to take a look at some of these things, and see what's involved in them. I think once you look at it, you might, you come to your own conclusion. You know, I'm gonna support it and everything, but I think we just need to be, as informed as possible on some of these things.
Mr. President,
Yes, go ahead, Dr. LaRoche.
whenever we're sending people out to a meeting, a conference, we always make sure that we weigh the benefits versus the risks. So if we are going to send her somewhere to learn something, is it going to hurt us or is it going to benefit us? So how much money is it that's going to hurt us? We have to weigh that, and how much she's going to learn to bring back, we got to weigh that. So that's why I feel that, yeah, we can look at what she's going to bring back or what we're going to give her to go to that meeting. But we also have to understand that until we invest something to get something, we may never get out of our soapbox, so to speak. So how much are we going to lose by sending her to the meeting in Miami? That's my question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Gandhi.
We need to have a certified CRA director. And that's could be coming up half soon.
Well, and I am going to the academy class. That's going to be my third class. I'll just have 2 more after that. I should be done in April, and I'll be certified. This is not part of the academy. This is just a conference that was after in Miami. That since I was already down there, I researched the conference, saw the classes, read them, and thought I might learn something and get some ideas from them. And so that's why I asked to go.
And we have a motion and a second to approve the convention in Miami. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? I'm going to Miami. I want to go back to that workshop thing. Those people flying, coughing. You don't know people like that. It scares the dickens out of me.
I told them I would like for them to pick another name, but they kind of laugh. These are military people. They are, you know, they're all retired.
I just want to lighten things a little bit.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that was reference the quality of the aircraft the guy used to fly.
I think you're right. All right, thank you.
6C, accounting contract for annual report. Who's handling that? I'm assuming you.
What?
Do I have something? Do I have a bad agenda?
Report from CRA Attorney.
6, no, accounting contract for annual report.
I don't have that on mine.
Well, we have too many agendas here, don't we?
I'll second that.
And
heard
this next is 7, report from CRA Attorney.
I have a 6C. All right, we're going to go to 7, report from the CRA attorney.
Your Commissioners, I am happy to tell you that we have received the December and January payments from RE Development.
Hallelujah.
And we anticipate receiving continued monthly payments at the end of the month.
Good.
Of
Very
every
good.
month. And otherwise, I will let you know if that changes, but we can assume that that will continue. That's all I have.
Oh, yeah, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. Okay, at this time, we'll take any comments from the public and the audience. Anyone wants to address anything to the CRA? Now would be the time to do that. Forever hold your peace. Anybody in the audience would like to address the CRA? All right, tell me if I missed anything. Because the meeting just gone so quickly. All right, having said that, this meeting is adjourned. We'll see you again at 6 o'clock, a different meeting.